You can send this video to 1,000 people or 100 people, and 100 people can literally be having a monologue conversation, which is one way, which is you talking to them with you. 1,000 people, let's imagine that, can literally have a conversation with you, and you can communicate to that individual using video. That is the benefit of using a video sales letter, and also that's the benefit of using this framework.
I want to change lives. I want to show people how to progress in their money. I want to show people how to progress in their mindset. I want to show people how to progress in their brand, so that way they can take care of their family, take care of their finances, and experience freedom.
Audate here, and in this video, I'm going to give you a framework of how to build out your video sales letter. Okay. Now, what is first and foremost, let me share with you what is a video sales letter. A video sales letter is, I want you to imagine what a letter, let's break down what it is first, the words of it. Let's break down what a letter is. A letter is a form of communication. Sales is to convince someone to take action. So that's a sales letter portion. So we're communicating with people to take action, and the video portion is the medium. How are we communicating with them? Is we're communicating via video. So that's a video sales letter. We're communicating with people via video to take action. So for example, here when I showed this is a landing page here. And in this specific landing page, we use it to sell a product. This product here is $1,000. So because I have this video sales letter here in my business, because I have this video sales letter, and in this specific video here, I'm making an offer, so people can watch the video, and then once they get towards the end, so this video here is 9 minutes, about 10 minutes long. By the time they get towards the end, they got the option to make a purchase. So at any given day during the hours of 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, this specific landing page here is creating for Andy automatic sales. And this can happen at any time of the day. So I may wake up in the morning to four to six sales breaking down, and when I break down where the sales came from, it came from some of these type of videos here. Okay, so people can have the option to purchase their product without me having to get on the phone with them or get on a Zoom call with them or so forth. So the benefit of having a video sales letter is to communicate with people, to encourage people to take action without me needing to be there with them. So now the action that we're looking to have people take could be usually one of the three. We're either A, attempting to generate a lead. And the times that we're going to generate a lead, what is the lead? First of all, let's break that down. A lead is the name, email, and phone number of a potential customer. That's a lead. So if we can get their name, email, and phone number, utilizing Progretta, we can really communicate with that individual over the long term. So for example, let me give you an example here. Let's go back to this specific page here, because I'm using this as a specific example. So with this specific offer in this example, before I give this page to someone, they're gonna have to enter their name, email, and phone number. So the way that we do that is we bring them to a lead generating landing page. So I'm gonna give you this one. For example, part of Andy Audate's company, we hire virtual assistants to support you, to work with you in your business. So in this example here, this landing page, the goal of this landing page is to generate a lead, right? Because I'm not really sharing much information, and in order for them to get data, like say for example, I have this video up here, when you click it, I'm asking you for their phone number, name, phone number, and email. So this specific landing page is to generate a lead. And then when you put in your name, email, and phone number, it takes you to this specific landing page, where in this landing page, we are generating a sale. This is a sales landing page where we're generating a sale. And in this example, this sale happens to be, how much is this? This happens to be $2,000. And this can also automatically generate you sales. So what our objective here, so I wanted to kind of break down how the framework of how all of this works. So what we're looking to accomplish for you today is for me to give you the framework of how to create your video sales letter. So I want to show you an example of where it's going to be. So the lead landing page in itself is going to be hosted on a page to generate a lead. So on the lead landing page, this may be the first page where the objective of like, for example, so when you'll send someone to whatever your website is or whatever your landing page is.com, when you send someone there, they're going to see a video. And it's going to be a short video of you telling them to put their name, email, and phone number down below. okay, to take action to get something. The next example is going to be a sales landing page. So the sales landing page, if your instructions was for my team to create a sales landing page, video sales letter, when you're creating a video sales letter for a sales landing page, that would be similar to this, right? The objective of this landing page here is to create a sale. And then last but not least is the informational landing page. And the objective for this specific one is to just give information. So I'll give you an example of one that is for information, which is going to be one of these. This is not selling anything. This is not giving any people, this is not selling anything, but this is just giving people information. So let me give you the reasons why we would use these specific landing pages before I give you the framework. So the lead generation landing page, the objective of the lead generation landing page is to do one thing and one thing only: generate a lead. That's the only thing. The objective of the sales landing page is to create a sale. Informational landing page is to create or give information. Okay. So let's go into the framework of what it looks like when you have the specific landing page. So the framework is going to be very similar, but I do want to be clear on when you do your landing video sales letter for the landing page. I want to be very clear that when you create it, it has to be specific for the goal that you have in mind. So if we're putting this video sales letter on a lead generation landing page, then we need to be clear that we're not sharing any numbers, we're not sharing any price points to get people to buy something right away. All we're doing is attempting to get a lead. Same thing for the sales landing page. But if we're going to put on a sales landing page, then we're going to sell a product. If we're going to put on an informational landing page, then we're just going to give information. Okay. So now the framework. So we start off with the message or big question. I'm going to end up doing a quick demonstration for you. Now, many of your video sales letter can either be long or short, but here's the key identifier that I want to share with you. You are the expert in your business. You're the expert in your industry. Now, we're supporting you in marketing, and our job is to manage the elements of communication between you and your customer, allowing you to scale the communication between you and your customer. So what does that mean? That means that the same with that, like when we're creating this video sales letter, I want you to imagine that you're speaking to someone. Like, for example, like, as I'm creating this specific video here, let me make this a little bit bigger. As I'm creating this specific video here, I'm imagining like you're literally side by side next to me and I'm breaking this down. So I'm going to give you a framework, but I don't want you to follow this framework to a T and feel like, hey, if I skipped a step of this framework, it's not going to work for me. You're the expert of your industry. You're the expert in your product or service. And what your clients are purchasing, they're buying you. And because they're buying you, however you communicate to them, they'll gravitate and want to purchase that from you. So the reason I create this is just to give you like the reason I'm creating this framework here and sharing this framework with you is to give you that boost, that push, to give you a process to follow. But you can move and change and rearrange this process as you like. That's number one. The number two thing is a video sales letter is not a tattoo. You can always change it. It's not something that's stagnant. It's not something that you record once and it's one and done. You can always change it. If you don't like it a year from now, if you don't like it 6 months from now, you can always change it. I have video sales letters that are 2 years old, that are 3 years old, that I recorded a long time ago, and they still support in generating income. So what I'm sharing with you is that, number one, there is no perfect solution. What we're doing is you're communicating to your potential customer. That's number one. Number two is that you can always change it in the future. Okay? So let's get started. So here, the message or the big question. So you're gonna give either a bold message that you want people to understand. For example, one of your messages is that to be healthy, you need to be under 250 pounds. Okay, let's just use that. Or to be healthy, you need to be less than 200 pounds. I'm just making something up in this example. But this is your message. This is what your big claim is. So you're communicating this big claim, which is going to attract people to listen to you much longer. Okay? And then, or you can use a big question. So the big question could be, for example, do you struggle with weight loss? Do you struggle with losing weight, and you find yourself oversleeping in it and challenged to wake up in the morning because you're overweight? Do you struggle with that? So like I'm just using this example as if you're a health coach. So you're sharing the message, which is like the big claim, which is very direct. or you're sharing a big question, which is going to be thought provoking and get people to be attracted to what you're saying because they think that you have a solution following. So that's the first leap. Okay, that's the first step. The second is going to be the problem that you're trying to solve. So, for example, so if I start off with a question, big question here, this is number one. If I start off with the big question and I say, hey, do you want to lose weight? Do you have a challenge with losing weight? Are you looking to be a little bit more leaner in your life and in your health life? That could be the big question. Now, the problem that you're trying to solve is, so if you're looking to get more energy, if you're looking to win at life, I have something to share with you. I remember when I started. So now you go to the brief story. I remember when I started, and when I started in my life, in my journey, my fitness journey, man, I was constantly tired, and I was really trying to figure out this game of this yo-yoing of my weight, and I found that there was a solution. Then you go to the overview. So this is the brief story of your solution, of us leading into your product or service. Then you go to the overview of how. Now this is really crucial and important. The overview of how. You have so many times when you're working with us, you have information that you're communicating to your clients, and you have in-depth communication. Meaning that you have the breakdown, you know exactly how to do things from A to Z in your industry or in your niche. You know exactly how to do everything from A to Z. And many times we as experts, we want to go down to the nitty gritty, and we want to communicate step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6 in a video. When we're doing a video sales letter, we aren't going to go down through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. What we're going to do is we're going to give an overview of how. So I'll give you an example. So I'm currently working with a hedge fund manager. So he created a hedge fund, and he has, or the current objective is $10 million in assets under management. So as a hedge fund manager, what he's doing is he's buying stocks, buying companies, and he has a process on how to pick and choose the companies. And he has a very detailed process where he looks at companies' prospectus, and he goes through the numbers, he goes through their profits, he goes through their EBITDA, he goes through how much money they're making, how much money they're losing, their competitive advantage, their advantage in the marketplace when it comes to social media. So he has a specific process. If he tried to explain this process on a video sales letter to try to get a lead, people would be like, whoa, this is way too much. I'm so confused. But instead of going deep in the how, he's going to give an overview. So here's what an overview would look like. So I just shared the deeper version, but the overview would look like the way that we invest in our companies is we choose our companies that are growing year over year by 500%. So we have a framework or a process that we are able to find companies that are growing year over year by 500% every single year and have a capital or competitive advantage using social media. So that's the overview of how. It's not going to be the deep, broken down, step by step. You know, they look at the documents, they look at the profit, they look at the owners, they look at the investors. So you're not going to explain that. You're just going to give a brief overview. So the brief overview of how is just going to be the synopsis. Okay. And then where to get the details. So you're going to communicate where. So this is the overview of how. What your potential client is going to be interested in is going to be, how do I get the broken down details of the how. So you give the brief overview, the broad overview, and what they're wanting is the details of how to get the broken down details of the how. So what your customer is going to do is they're going to be intrigued. They're going to start leaning forward in their seats, and they're going to say, hey, I'm interested to get the additional information. And then so you're gonna break down the medium as to how you're gonna give it to them. Okay, so for example, let me turn this into, so that way as I'm communicating this, you can see. So let me turn this into steps. So that way as I'm communicating the steps, you can see, you know, what step I'm talking about. So For step 5, so step 1 is you're going to either start with a message or a big question. That's step 1. You either start with a message or a big question. Step 2 is that you're going to communicate the problem that you're trying to solve. Step 3, you're going to give a brief story. And the reason for the brief story is that creates a connection between you. Step 4, you're going to give the overview of how to create that goal, like whatever your client's goal or the problem that they're trying to solve. So we can call this the goal. So let's call this the goal here. So whatever your client's goal is over here, whatever your client's goal is, you're giving an overview of how to achieve that goal. Then for number 5, you're giving the where to get the details of the broken down version of how to get those goals, of how to achieve that goal. And then you make your offer. So typically your offer is going to be your main product plus a bonus. And many times you can also add on an additional bonus, and then you give the call to action. So the offer is going to be, for example, if we're doing a lead generation landing page, the offer may be a ebook. So let me give you an example of what an ebook looks like, right? So in this specific one, I don't have a video sales letter in this specific one here, but the offer may be, hey, I'm going to give you an ebook. Okay. And in your ebook, when you download the ebook, you're going to learn how to grow your brand followers organically. Number 2, you're going to learn how to get into the big media names like Forbes. And number 3, you're going to learn how to monetize your brand using social media. Right. So here's the main product that I'm offering. The main product in this case happens to be an ebook. Now I want to share with you, the bonus is not a must. The bonus is not a must. The bonus, what it does do, it adds value. So if we go to, for example, this offer here for the virtual assistant, here I'm giving you the main product, which is, hey, we'll hire a virtual assistant. Then this is bonus 1, and then this is bonus 2. So the offer is $31.99, and I give it to you for $19.97. So like that's the offer. And then I give you one bonus at no additional cost, and I give you another bonus at no additional cost. So that just adds value to the offer. So to double, to just let you know, you don't have to give the bonus. You don't have to give the bonus on every product. It's not a must. You don't have to give the bonus on every product. So it starts with the main product, and then the bonus is optional. And then you give the call to action. The call to action is usually, how do I get this offer? How do you purchase this offer? So that's how that works, okay? So here's an example. I'm going to give you I'm going to highlight this. I think what happens when I do it this way, it blocks it out. So when I block it out, that means I just went over it. So I'm going to give you the framework in real life. I'm going to make it very short. I'm going to give you the framework in real life, and then as I complete each step of the framework, I'm going to block it out so that way you know that I went over the framework. So check this out. So I'm going to use, for example, my book. If you want this ebook, go to andyaudate.com/7keys. andyaudate.com/7keys to get this book of 7 keys to build a $1 million brand. Okay. So check this out. So I want to start off with the big question. So I want you to see how I do it in real time. Now, I know I broke this down in depth. I'm going to do it in real time so that way you can see how it all works and how it all flows together. So in this example, I'm using a lead generation landing page, and my lead generation offer is this landing page here, which is going to attract my potential customer, and have them put their full name, email, and phone number on the landing page. Okay. So this is how it works. So this is one of the landing pages. This is a live landing page here. You can go and grab this ebook if you like. So check this out. So I'm using this lead generation landing page, and the goal of this lead generation landing page is to do one thing and one thing only: generate a lead. Okay. So check this out. And I'm gonna use, so just so we're on the same page as I'm ramping on, I know some of you are probably like, yo, get it over with already. Now, there are some people who are quick and ready to rock and roll, and there are some people who aren't fast. So what I just did, I just copied this image, and I'm going to put it right here so that way you can see what it is that I'm selling, what it is that I'm communicating. And I'm going to cross it over as I'm done. So do you want to build a 7-figure business? A 7-figure business is you doing over $83,333 a month? Do you want to make well over $83,333? Do you want to make over 833? Oh, shit, I keep forgetting. Do you want to make over $83,000 a month? If so, I got something for you. Now, most businesses in America have a challenge with generating over $83,000 a month. Many of them tap out at 5 figures, where they're kind of stuck making 10 grand or 20,000 or even $30,000 a month. But what we found is that that freedom number is when your brand, your business makes over $83,000 a month, which is $1 million a year, which is you having a brand that what makes you $1 million a year. Now, I made my first million at the age of 19, and I created a process where I really figured out that there are strategies and there are tools for you to build $1 million brand. And there's 3 elements that you need to accomplish. So there are 3 elements that you need to accomplish. Element number 1 is that you need to have awareness, consistent awareness, where people who don't have a clue who you are constantly get aware of who you are. So that's step number 1. Number 2 is automation, where you use tools and software to automate your communication to your leads. And number 3 is delegation, where you delegate to a team. Okay? So as you delegate to a team, you are able to generate income whether you work or not. That is the key elements to building $1 million brand. So I wrote this broke down, this framework, this process in an ebook called 7 Keys to Building $1 Million Brand. And in this book, I break down how to build $1 million brand. I teach you how to create awareness, where to get awareness, what software to use, and how to delegate to a virtual assistant. So this ebook is called 7 Keys to Building $1 Million Brand. And I want to give this book to you at no cost. This ebook has a value of over $499 because once you implement the solution that's in the book, the process that's in the book, your business can really turn into a 7-figure business. So I wrote down this ebook at andyaudate.com/7keys. So if you want this ebook, download it today. I'm going to send you an email and a text message of this book straight to your inbox and straight to your phone. So that way you can start reading it and implementing it in your business. Once again, to get this ebook, go to andyaudate.com/7keys. Once again, that's andyaudate.com/7keys. Okay. So you saw how I did it. I broke down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I broke down this framework and I implemented this to sell my product, which in this example is the ebook. Okay, which example is the ebook. Now here's the solution. As you're watching, the call to action, depending on where your video sales letter is. If your video sales letter is on a specific page already, so for example, let's say this one here, in this video, what I'm going to be explaining to my potential customer in this video is I'm going to say, hey, scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can read more about this offer. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can actually purchase this offer here today, right? So that's what I'm telling them to my customer. So I'm letting my customer know, like, hey, if you click on this link here, boom, it'll take you out to the page where you can actually purchase the product. And then my second call to action in this video is saying, hey, go to this web page so you can sign up now. So your call to action has to be relevant. Your call to action has to be relevant to how you want to communicate to your potential customer. Your call to action has to truly be relevant. So relevancy means that, hey, if you want to buy this specific product, go to this page. If you want to get the specific product, go to this page. Or your call to action could be like, hey, down below, like say, for example, your video sales letter is on your landing page. You could say, hey, down below, put your name, email, and phone number, and I'll send it to you via text. So in this example, I said, hey, put your name, email, phone number. So they're not surprised by the time they get to the page and they're asking them for their name, email, phone number. They're not surprised and they're saying, why are you asking me for my name, email, phone number? You said it in the video. All right. So this is the framework of how to. Now, I want to remind you, you don't have to 100% follow this exactly to a T. I wanted to give you a framework to make it easy for you to use this. But the reality is, what we're doing is that you're communicating to your potential customer in a way that serves them. So your potential customer might need you to elaborate on certain things. Now, remember, I'll give you an example of what I'm going to share with you a communication that I have internally in my sales company, where when I'm talking to my sales team. So I will ask a salesperson on my team, and I'll say, hey, what is the goal of a voicemail? And they'll say, the goal of the voicemail, and I would say, hey, the goal of the voicemail is to get a phone call back. So let's say my salesperson, their objective is to make a sale. Of course, that's their job. Their goal is to make a sale. So when I say, hey, what is the goal of an appointment? And then they'll say, oh, the goal of the appointment is to get a sale. I'd say, no, that's not the goal of the appointment. So we have to really reverse engineer. So what is the goal of a voicemail? The goal of the voicemail is to get a phone call back. It is not to get an appointment. Okay? So, and I would say, what is the goal of a phone call? They would say, the goal of a phone call is to sell a product. I would say, no, the goal of the phone call is to set an appointment. Okay? And then what's the goal of the appointment? They said that's when you sell the product. I said, no, the goal of the appointment is to qualify your customer, to see if it is a good fit for them to get the product. Okay? So I want you to be very clear, like when you're using these video sales letters here, that depending on where you place them, if it's on a lead generation landing page, if it's on a sales landing page or an informational landing page, that you communicate effectively based on the goal of the specific landing page. So when they come to this type of landing page here, the goal of this landing page is to do one thing: get a sale. That's the goal of the landing page, is to get a sale. But when they come to this specific type of landing page, what's the goal here? All we're doing in this specific landing page is to give information. And in this video, I'm giving information about my message, why I do what I do, my story, my business, and so forth. But what's the goal of this specific landing page? You can't do anything on this specific landing page but put your name, email, and phone number. So I hope that really shares, right? I hope that really breaks down the difference between the landing pages, the three different main types of landing pages, and then a framework on how to communicate to your potential clients utilizing the landing page. But specifically the framework when you're creating a video sales letter, when you're communicating to your clients, that on the video sales letter, you have these 7 steps. You're gonna share your message or your big question, like what's the big question that you want to ask. And number 2, you're gonna communicate the problem that you're trying to solve, which happens to be their goal, right? So you're communicating that. Then you share a brief story to communicate that you understand their challenge. So you're gonna share a brief story. Then you're going to give an overview of how. You're not going to give the in-depth details. You're just going to give a brief overview of how you're going to do it. So, for example, I said, hey, you got to create awareness. You got to automate, and then you got to delegate. You got to create these, do these 3 things. That was the overview. I didn't go in depth as to like, this is how you send emails. This is how you send leads. This is how you do the text message sequences. This is how you do the phone calls. This is how you send emails and text messages. This is how you create the landing pages. This is how you create copy. This is the 4-step sales process. I didn't go into the in-depth. I just went and I did a brief overview. Then I said, hey, where do you get the details? Like, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get the details today. And where do you get the details? I wrote an ebook that broke down the details. So that's what you're communicating to your potential customer. Then you make an offer for them to get the product. So in this example, I'm giving away an ebook. But for example, your product could be a video training. Your product could be a one-on-one strategy call with you. Your product could be a course, a free course or something of that nature, or even a paid course where they got to pay. So then you share the product. Then you share the main product. And if you have additional bonuses, then you can give the additional bonuses. And then your call to action. What's the call to action? The call to action is on how to get the product. Right? So the call to action in this example is how to get the product. And the way to get the product is where the sales comes in. So the way to get the product is by putting your name, email, phone number. That's you converting that individual from a stranger to a lead. So that's the sales portion. Or B, the next sales portion where you're creating conversion is where you're turning a complete stranger into a customer when they purchase from you. Well, your call to action is, hey, in order to get this product, it costs $1,000 today. Down below, I have the link for you to purchase $1,000. After you purchase for $1,000, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get, this product plus this bonus plus that bonus, and you pay $1,000 today. Right, so that's the offer, $1,000. How to get the offer is by making your payment of $1,000 today. Down below, click this link. So this is how it would work. It starts with your message or a big question, then the problem that you're trying to solve, which is going to happen to be their goal, right? Happen to be their goal, which because you understand your customer, right? It's going to be their goal, and then you're going to share a brief story of something that is in alignment with you using your product, or why you created your product, or how it's beneficial for your customer or past customers. And then you're gonna give an overview of how you create that success which is an overview of how you help people get to that goal. And then if they want the information, if they want to move forward, then you're going to make an offer today. You're going to make an offer. So for example, you could say, hey, where do I get the details? So I created an online course, and in this online course, it breaks down 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever your 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you make the offer for them to be able to get your online course. And then you share, hey, I'm going to give you, this plus a bonus, plus a bonus. But remember, bonuses are optional. Now let's get the ball moving forward, and let's take action. And down below, make your purchase today, or down below, put in your name, email, and phone number. So I wanted to give you this framework. Remember, this framework is not a it's not the end all be all. It's not the only way, but it is a framework. It is a process for you to follow, but you can deviate. So you can get away from the portions of this, and you can also add. There is no perfect video sales letter. Video sales letter is just communication. For example, there's no perfect way of communicating. There's no perfect date, right? If you've ever been in a relationship, there's no perfect date. Your dates are going to constantly change. Your dates are going to constantly evolve and so forth. So it's a relationship that you have with your potential customer. But the great thing is that this scales your communication, meaning that instead of you having to get on a phone call with communicating to an individual, this video, you can send this video to 1,000 people or 100 people, and 100 people can literally be having a monologue conversation, which is one way, which is you talking to them, a monologue conversation with you. 1,000 people, let's imagine that, or 100 people can literally have a conversation with you, and you can communicate to that individual using video. That is the benefit of using a video sales letter, and also that's the benefit of using this framework. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.